Welcome everyone. I hope you guys are doing well today. Today we do have another entry to Tomoe's Game Festival. I will be playing the demo for Chrysanthemum on the way to Sweet Dreams. This is by, hold on, I have the Steam page up as always. One Cell Team. The game is up on Steam for the demo. If you do end up playing the demo, don't forget to wishlist it, comment, rate, what have you, let creators know how much you enjoy it so far. They do have a Twitter account. All links I have left in my description, along with the link to the Tomoe's Game Festival page. Definitely check out all the other Atomes that are out there. This one definitely caught my eye, so I'm very happy. One Cell Team did contact me to try out the demo on stream. The art style is definitely something that really caught my attention. It definitely feels reminiscent of like older Japanese anime visual novels that you see around. And I think that makes it really stand out compared to everything else. So I'm very excited. Hold on, my cat. What is it, Jojo? Hi, Gremlin. You just woke up? Go and lay down, okay, buddy? Emily, hello. Welcome. Hello, Nimby. Thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. Bro, do you already want to leave? Hold on. I'm so sorry. He wants to leave already. Okay, I'm back. Hello Emily, I will play Sweet Valentine Truck 2 and its full game come out yesterday. Oh, is the full game out? I need to definitely stream it. I think I did one of the guys' routes last year, possibly. But the full game is out, I'll definitely have to check it out. I gotta find out how to put it on my schedule, honestly. Yes, Chrysanthemum, I do have the Steam page up. So this game has not released yet. I think it should be released this year. That's what it says on the Steam page, but the date might change. It says a high school senior with superpowers longs to confess her feelings to her chemistry teacher, but the island's mysterious anomalies turn her world upside down. A non-linear otome visual novel filled with sinister mysteries and complicated choices. So this game is available in English and Russian for the text. Just know when I opened up this game, it was all in Russian and I had to like play around with the settings. So if you do want to try the game and it does come up in Russian, the fourth section down here, the fourth option, you click that. That will bring you to settings and then you can click to English at the bottom. I just went through one by one to try and figure it out and I got it. So that's just in case you guys have not figured out how to turn it into English. Let's see. Oh yeah, there's a bit of a cast here for the characters. I'm looking at the Steam page. I am not too sure which guy I like yet. We'll definitely have to see a bit more about their personalities. Like the Steam page does give like a little excerpt about the characters and like a little, what's the word? Like a quote for them. Like Olin says, "We're so powerless and fragile. We could disappear at any moment." And then Raj is like, "Stay away from me." Okay, buddy, I might romance you first. I love it when the guys play hard to get. I think Lottie like Magical Princess is a game on Steam. I think I've seen some people have that on their schedule for Tomoe's Game Celebration. I'll definitely add that to my list to try out something after the celebration is over. But yeah, this is what we're gonna do today. Hopefully you guys will enjoy it. I am very interested in our MC, seeing as she has a crush on the teacher and wants to confess to him, but all the love interests are the students. So I'm really wondering how something like that will work out. She's already has this infatuation to her teacher, someone who's probably been nice and kind to her and stuff like that. So I'm wondering how her feelings somehow morph into her just seeing him platonically, or maybe he breaks her heart and then she somehow falls in love with the love interest that we have, like her classmates. But anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and get started with this demo. I am very excited. Also, the start page is really nice. The music, really great. Yes, we're gonna begin the story. And I'm curious about the whole powers thing too. An elusive, yet so captivating fragrance of chrysanthemums fascinated me. I wanted to bury my face into the petals, to better feel the herbal, slightly bitter aroma. Inhale, and it's as if all your worries vanish into it. You forget about who you are, leaving all your troubles and sorrows behind. I wish I could stay in this enchanted world forever. But time is relentless, just as relentless and merciless as life itself. Ooh, we're at a flower shop. Sorry, I was lost in thought. It's okay. Zoya was looking curiously at the bouquet of chrysanthemums, which I was holding in my hands. What a scent. I love, she's wearing round glasses. I love MCs with glasses, please. I want more of them. I held out the bouquet. Zoya hesitated a bit, before tucking a strand of hair behind her ear and carefully leaning in towards the flowers. Hello, greetings from the programmer of the project. Oh, hello, Casa. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I wish this was a game today. Yes, I definitely wish list it before I started stream, just to make sure, because I often forget these things. Have a nice game. I will. I'm enjoying it so far. The art is really gorgeous. I held out the bouquet. Zoya hesitated a bit, before tucking a strand of hair behind her ear and carefully leaning in towards the flowers. In a flash, a smile spreads across her lips. Yeah, nice one. Not too intense. It's quite pleasant. It's settled then. I'll get the chrysanthemums. Oh, so we're just buying. We don't work here, is what I'm assuming. Thanks for not running away. Zoya giggled. How could I leave you? You would have stayed here forever. That's for sure. There's a lot of pretty flowers here. I don't know much about them. How long have you been at the florist? For about an hour, right? During that time, we wandered through shelves lined with roses and peonies. We looked at daisies and orchids. And we stood next to beautiful cacti with blue and purple spines. We went back and forth between bouquets of asters, cornflowers, sunflowers, and chamomiles. And I didn't like any. And then, as if by magic, they were there. Chrysanthemums of every kind, big and small, red, white, and yellow, fitting the whole corner. How didn't we notice them sooner in such a tiny shop? And that's only thanks to Zoya. I would have just simply passed them by. I thoughtfully turned the bouquet over in my hands, the snow-white petals whirling around like dancing ballerinas. What color do you... Oh, is this for the teacher? Do you think Sensei would like? Girl. I have no idea. Zoe glanced back over at the shelf. She always pretended to be deep in thought whenever she wanted to avoid talking or was too unsure to speak up. Is it about the crush on the teacher? Is that why she's not saying anything? It feels like, based on this line, Zoya doesn't want to hurt G, telling her like having a relationship with the teacher or wanting one isn't really appropriate, but she doesn't want to say anything, so she kind of keeps quiet. But I will see how this plays out. If this didn't involve Sensei, I wouldn't have been so indecisive, really. But when you're going to give a special bouquet to a special man on an ordinary day, everything changes. You can't think straight. Your thoughts cloud your mind, leaving behind a thick mental fog. Zoya wasn't feeling well today either. She had faint circles under her eyes, a nervous smile, and was constantly fiddling with the sleeve of her dress. I should not have listened to her and let her tag along with me. I need to let Zoya get some sleep. I can sit next to her until she sleeps, so that the nightmares she's been having lately won't bother her anymore. Nightmares, you say? Will that be important later on? Oh well, it is what it is. That means I should hurry up and finish with the flowers. That's all I can do right now. I'll go ask the florist. I'm coming with you. I mean, we should be fine by ourselves to ask the florist, right? There is a fierce, unwavering loyalty in her eyes, like a knight protecting her king with all she had. Well, I am her only friend after all. Is she your only friend too? Do you guys just have each other and no one else? But yeah, there we go. But Zoya is my only friend too. Sometimes, I also just want to be next to her and not let her go anywhere. Who knows what dangers are out there? I try to make other friends at school, but Zoya was the only one who truly became a friend. I guess it's because both of us transferred school halfway through last year, and everyone else in class had already split up into groups. Ooh, okay. And universe reason for why they only have each other. Oh well. One loyal friend is better than a bunch of acquaintances who wouldn't even let you copy their homework. Okay, let's go. The florist was at the checkout, speaking on her phone. Surprisingly, I couldn't understand a word. It was as if the florist's booming and stern voice was being absorbed by a vacuum. All I could hear was sharp hissing sounds? That's not normal, is it? It seems that she is speaking. Oh, okay. Okay, never mind, we're good. It seemed that she is speaking her native language. I wonder if she is an islander or just calling her relatives at home. With her tan skin and dark hair braided in the style of the locals, it's not so easy to tell. I looked over at Zoya. She kept glancing at the wall clock. Then, as if she felt my eyes on her, she turned and tapped her wrist with her index finger. Well, the school bell won't wait for us. I'll have to interrupt her. Oh, okay, so we're doing this before school or maybe during a long break. We came closer. She was clearly anxious, so much so that she didn't even notice us. She kept going on and on into the phone, suddenly squeezing it so tightly, it seemed as though she might crush it. Zoya gave me a nudge, and I instinctively put the bouquet on the table. The florist's expression cleared. The woman fired off a couple more sharp remarks, hung up, and hastily smiled. How may I help you? Her face relaxed, and it was as if she turned back the clock by a decade. I cleared my throat. My heart was racing, as if I was getting ready for a long run. Sorry to bother you. I wanted to ask, could you tell me please, which chrysanthemums are better to gift? The woman glanced at the white chrysanthemums on the table. If I remember correctly, there's like flower language, so each flower has a certain message it gives to people, and then certain colors also do that too. So I'm wondering, what message do white chrysanthemums have? Oh no. What if I distracted her from an important conversation? And why did I bring the bouquet to the cashier if I'm not sure about the color? What if you're not allowed to touch things you're not going to buy? My hands were sweating. I quietly wiped them on my skirt. As I was about to apologize for taking the bouquet, the woman broke into a smile. It's not often that people pick chrysanthemums as a present. Her eyes gleamed with genuine curiosity. Dodged a bullet. Why's that? The florist let her hand glide gently across the flowers. The petals seemed to cling to her fingers, like they didn't want to let go. There's a lot of symbolism in this flower. Some of it is quite conflicting. Right, hidden meanings. How could I forget about them? Could you tell us about them? Please don't let white chrysanthemums be something weird. It's gonna be something like yearning love proposal. Holding my breath, I stared intently at the woman. I don't know how much she loved her job, but judging by her charming voice, she could definitely have a passion for storytelling. Do you really want to know? I nodded enthusiastically. The florist smiled dreamily. All right, I'll tell you the most famous ones. In some countries, chrysanthemums are a symbol of sorrow. People lay them on graves. Oh, don't let this be foreshadowing if we give the white ones to Sensei. In others, they symbolize friendship and strong bonds. And in Japan, chrysanthemums become a symbol of wealth, purity, and nobility. My favorite legend is the one about an evil dragon who wanted to steal the sun, but when he was carrying it, he burnt his paws. Enraged, the dragon began to tear the sun to pieces. The sections of it, which fell to the earth, became white chrysanthemums. Ooh, that's a charming tale. That's why people give them when they want to sincerely and honestly show their feelings. Oh, she's definitely gonna pick the white ones. Suddenly, the woman snapped out of it, as if remembering what she was doing. I quickly followed suit. Everything felt alive again. The smell of flowers filled the air, and everything shone brightly. Sorry, I got carried away. The color and quantity depend on the occasion. Why do you want to purchase the bouquet? I smiled. It confidently pulled a bunch of chrysanthemums towards me. The 7 bright buds, like solar sparks that had fallen on Earth, swung mesmerizingly. It was fate that brought me to them. Thank you, but I've already made up my mind. Oh, how is this gonna work out when we give these to Sensei? Are we gonna confess our feelings or just give them and then be happy we only know the hidden meaning? When I left the shop, it felt like a whole nother world. The scents of flowers and lacquered wood disappeared. The warmth vanished, making way for a cool breeze. There is not a soul in sight, except for a single car which passed by. The bakery sign swayed in the wind. When I came here last year, I thought the town was abandoned, that only scientists, military personnel, and doctors lived here, and we were sent out here as prisoners? Huh. Okay. A bit of world building we're getting here. We already know we're on an island, and based on the quick description I read before starting the game, we have powers. I am not sure if the other students have powers. Do other people know we have powers? But seeing how there are scientists, military personnel, and doctors also on this island, this is definitely not your run-of-the-mill island. There's something special about it, but we don't know yet. So I'm wondering, if we have our powers and we're on this island, do all the other students also have powers themselves? And that's the reason why they have all these people here, just in case. But no. If you look closely, you'll see a group of kids with school bags, people laying out baked rolls or fruit they've collected. And Zoya, who is looking at me with great concern. Whoa, it's freezing today. Maybe we should stop by the dorms so you can change. Let's not waste any time. They said it will get better by lunchtime. I'll warm up while walking anyway. Do we have a school uniform now that I'm thinking about it? Because they said they needed to hurry up before the school bell rang, and now we're talking about dorms for school. Aren't you cold? Zoya shook her head. You could still see the worry in her eyes. I glimpsed at her hands, which she desperately tried to hide. Her usual pale fingers were bright red, as if she had just dipped them in a pot of boiling water. She is freezing herself, yet still worries about others. How can that be? I'm already loving Zoya so much. That is our bestie. Please, 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 I'm begging you, do not do anything to our bestie. Do not hurt this poor woman. I wanted to go to Zoya, take her hands, and warm them up right away. No way. I still remember her reaction when I tried to hug her once. I was so happy after passing my exams, so I rushed to hug her. Zoya looked at me with such a frightened look, as if something horrible had happened. Unspoken trauma, maybe? Since then, no matter how much I wanted to touch her, I had to hold myself back. So I just sighed heavily and checked if the chrysanthemums were wrapped securely. All good. At least they were safe and sound. So, off to school? Wait, yes? What is it? Zoya's face suddenly changed. She bit her lip and looked at me even more anxiously. Even the circles under her eyes started to look darker. My heart sank. Could it really be that the nightmares were just the tip of the iceberg? What happened? Zoya looked away, her hands gripping her skirt. Sorry for not telling you earlier. Do not tell me you're moving. Noble, my brother is coming today. I think that's one of the love interests. Hold on. It was as if a heavy burden was lifted from my shoulders. So that's why she's anxious. That's why she kept glancing at the clock, even though, unlike me, she was never in a hurry for classes. I wonder if her nightmares have anything to do with her brother's arrival. Did something happen between them in the past? Or is it just me making stuff up because Zoya's news had caught me off guard? And now, she was looking at me with a guilty look, as though she was waiting to confess something. She looked so cute and innocent. I couldn't help but laugh. She definitely seems very anxious about her brother coming. I wonder what her relationship with him is like. Were the nightmares the cause of whatever happened between them? I mean, MC looks very nonchalant and calm about the situation. So it seems like Zoya hasn't really said much about her brother, maybe just talked about him in passing, like, yeah, I have a brother named Noble, and that's really it. And that's so cool. What time? Did you need any help? You're not angry that I didn't tell you? No? Is there a reason for me to be angry, really? I mean, you don't have to tell me everything that's happening in your life, really. It did sting a bit, but not because Zoya hadn't told me earlier. I'm used to people not trusting me with their secrets. Besides, I didn't tell Zoya much about myself either. What upset me more was that, due to the small misunderstanding, I could miss such an important event in my friend's life. But it's great Zoya decided to share the news with me after all. Buy me a chocolate, and we're even. Oh hell yeah, Ruby's super duper even. We smiled at each other. So, I guess I have to buy 2 or more, maybe even 3 chocolates. We gotta go and pick him up now. Now? Girl, that's actually kind of close. The smile faded from my face. I didn't have time to process what she said, and smiled reassuringly again, making Zoya sad. Sorry, I'll go by myself. It's just that we never got out of town, so I'm sorry. It's alright. I was lying this time. To welcome a newcomer to the island, you need to get to the pier by bus, and then come back the long way. We might make it back in time for school. but I won't be able to give him the flowers. I didn't tell Zoya I wanted to give the flowers to Sensei before the lessons. If I did, she would have never admitted that she needed help. Now I had a tough choice to make. My heart ached. Ooh, Sensei or Zoya's brother? When Zoya had a temperature, she never asked for help. Even when she had to rewrite her whole notebook after it fell in a puddle, she still didn't ask. After all, her life motto is, I can handle everything on my own. But now, Zoya had to ask for help. Besides, it will be our first time leaving the research town. You need to find the bus stop, catch the right bus, not get lost. How could I send her alone? And why does Zoya even have to pick up her brother? Everyone coming to Anomaly Island is accompanied. Oh, more lore, thank you! So this town is already known as not being normal, and everyone is accompanied. So I'm assuming like by a researcher, some kind of high up personnel? Stop, of course! Wait, isn't a guide supposed to meet Nobel? Zoya just sighed softly. I knew you would ask. He is, but Nobel arranged for me to pick him up. Oh, he's so brave and full of himself that he managed to break the status quo. There were no ways out, so I shut up. Zoya, on the contrary, spoke out confidently. We can leave the bouquet at the library. There are lots of other plants there, so no one will notice it. You can take it after school and give it to Sensei. It looks like she thinks I'm only worried about where to put the chrysanthemums. She's so kind, so sure I'll always help her and never betray her. Please don't let that be foreshadowing. Please never betray Zoya. But you really don't need to come with me. I won't get mad. I can handle it all myself. If I'll get lost, I'll call you. You're so sneaky, you know that? Cutest expression right here MC has made so far. It's like a little smug look. This time, her smile had a sly, fox-like edge to it. Me? Sneaky? Not one bit. But I really did drag it out too long. I even thought about going alone after all. I really don't know what's gotten into me. I wonder if I could wipe your memory. Fortunately, there's only one person around here who could do that. Okay, we have more confirmation. So there are other people with powers, and we do know about it. Indeed. So, if you decide to go to school, I wouldn't take any offense. Zoya repeated. This time, her voice sounded more confident. My thoughts were scattered like leaves in the wind. Ooh, so we have choice. Hold on. Wrong thing. We save. Quick save. Or actually, let's save regularly. Hold on. Ooh, I like the slots page. It's pretty cute. Let's go back. Okay. Do we go with Zoya and then meet her brother? Or we go to meet with Sensei? I'm curious about the brother because I'm pretty sure he's a love interest? Sensei, I want to kind of get the look inside MC's mind about Sensei. I feel like we get like a nice inner monologue if we go the Sensei route. But I want to see Zoya's brother. We'll go with Zoya for now. You can't leave your friends when they're in trouble, especially if they're your only friend. I really hope the librarian doesn't spot our stowaway flowers. I feel like we could see Sensei afterward either way, right? At least after school. Zoya looked at me in disbelief. Why are you surprised? Did you really think I would leave you? No, I... Thank you. Zoya smiled so sincerely and gratefully. It was as if I had just promised to make her biggest wish come true. Her smile is so precious. I'd trade the world to see it. Let's go. We quickly get to the checkpoint. A stubby little security booth and a fence. That was all that separated us from the rest of the world. Still, it felt like we were about to go up against a bunch of intimidating guards who would never let us leave. They would catch us and put it in the underground cells to conduct experiments on us for the rest of our lives. Gee, hold out your hand. I looked away from the tall fence and faced toward Zoya. Turns out, the checkpoint guy had been sitting next to her for a long time now. I'm really sorry. You could see the fatigue in his eyes. The guard sighed, as if he was coming to terms with something, and held out his hand. It's fine. Almost everyone reacts like this, looking around like scared rabbits. Oh, come on. You know perfectly well you're free to visit this island anytime. Of course we know, but why the fear if he's saying that? But when you've been locked up for such a long time, freedom feels like something forbidden, something wrong. It's our first time going out, so this feels strange. To avoid angering the guard further, I quickly extend my hand in response. It'll sting a little. Blood testing? I wasn't done mentally preparing myself for the pain when I felt the burning sensation. It was as if a swarm of wasps had stung all at once. I screamed, "Damn, is it that bad?" Zoya rushed to me, grabbing my other hand and caressing my palm. Was it just not a little finger prick? It'll be alright soon. Hang on, G. Why does it sound like we're dying? I bit my lip. When the guard did the same to Zoya, she didn't make a sound. How embarrassing. Gritting my teeth, I waited for the man to finish his job. I didn't compare them to wasp stings for no reason. It felt as if the checkpoint guard had released thousands of tiny insects under our skin, capable of tracking us into anomalies. If we don't return by the end of the day, the ironclad rule for anyone leaving the town, they will send a team to search for us. Oh, is it a tracker? Even if we're thousands of miles away, the guard could track us down. I wonder how long it would work for. A day. A week. The pain from the sting was getting worse. I was on the verge of tears. No way. Crying is the last thing I do. I was so scared to be seen crying that I managed to get a hold of myself. If only there was a way to avoid such a painful procedure. I remember some kids had sneaked past the guard, climbed over the fence, and disappeared for a couple of days. Of course, they were found. There is no escaping the island, and the search team were equipped to the fullest. The kids were hungry, tired, and crying. Yet they still didn't avoid additional punishment. I think they were made to learn all the island rules by heart. They were also told a lot of stories about naughty boys and girls going deep to the forest and never returning. They gave the kids a lot of sweets and left them in peace. I hadn't heard of any rule breakers since. That's for the best. The rules were made for a reason. They try to make life on the island as safe as possible, so it's in our best interest to follow them. Will you make it for the start of class? Yes? Maybe. Potentially. His lips are pressed into a thin line, but a smirk lingered in his eyes. My thoughts grew quiet, and I rubbed my hand. The pain dulled, but it was still there. We will. Zoya kept holding my hand, even stepping forward towards the guard like a mother protecting her child. The man grunted and nodded. All right. But if they start looking for you, I won't cover for you. Oh, and good luck with welcoming the new boy. How does he know? I feel like they would tell all the guards something, right? I looked at Zoya. She stared at the guard with the same stunned expression as me. I have eyes and ears everywhere. Well, it really was not that much astonishing. Anyone from the scientist team could have told him about it. Maybe even our school's principal, who was the co-creator of the Anomaly Research Project, could have informed them. Oh, thank you for more lore dropping. Have a nice trip. When we went back into the security booth, we both breathed a sigh of relief. If I hadn't been sick the whole summer vacation, I would have had plenty of time to explore the island and could have got used to going without feeling guilty. Why are you looking at me like that? No matter what I say right now, she would insist that everything's fine. Nothing. Don't worry about it. Zoya looked at me skeptically, but didn't push me further. We should totally visit the island again. No waiting until the holidays. Maybe we could skip a lesson during the week, or miss a medical examination over the weekend. I headed towards the bus stop, filled with determination. Okay, so we got a bit more lore in this game going forward. So definitely all the students, kids, whoever is brought here are anomalies. I'm assuming that means to have powers, because that's what the description said about the MC. She had some sort of powers. So it seems like everything is different for each kid, because they did mention someone who can erase memories. I'm curious of what MC's and Zoya's powers are, and also her brother, who we're going to pick up. Despite them having like security and like a fence around like the main part of the island, they are free to explore it, but it doesn't really look like the outside is maintained a lot. Like you can see the roads are kind of cracked, the bus stop sign is very rusted. This bench over here is just broken already, so the outside isn't maintained much, but they're free to come and go as long as they're back before dark. So that's a good thing. They aren't restricted just to the main part. The little prick in the hand that they both got, I'm assuming that means they just put a tracker in them just in case something happens, they get lost or decide not to come back, and they have that extra insurance to find them and bring them back to the regular part of the island. Oh, but yeah, and they talked about scientists and stuff like that too. So experiment-wise, I don't think, at least publicly, they're gonna talk about doing horrible experiments, maybe just like testing blood, endurance, like physical examination, like regular stuff that you can do, like regular examination. Maybe testing out how each power works and kind of see the limits that they have, or can they evolve the powers? Just basic research stuff. There may be something hidden deep in the island, more sinister, we never know, but we will just have to see. Fortunately, getting there wasn't too hard. The road meandered a bit, making us climb uphill at times and ease downhill at others, so we didn't pick up too much. At least the road didn't branch off anywhere. I hype post some cozy games coming in June. Ooh, I've seen a lot of people talk about cozy games, like stuff like that. I might have to check it out. Hello, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Wild Art at Sale. Sorry I'm late. What's the lore? The lore is we're on an island with other kids who are anomalies. We all have different powers. There are scientists here on the island. We don't know too much about the scientists yet, but I'm assuming they just monitor all the kids and students to make sure they're all right and their powers don't go crazy. Currently, MC and her best friend Zoya are going to pick up Zoya's brother, who is also an anomaly, so this will be his first time on the island. Also, our MC has a crush on her teacher, so that's gonna be very interesting to see how that plays out. Yeah, I don't know if the teacher is going to accept or not. It's gonna be very interesting to see his reaction because they are high school students. The bus stop seemed like a lone island in the middle of the backwoods. The road sign was covered in rust. Yeah, they don't maintain outside the main part of the island, like outside the walls, which is kind of weird. So they don't take precedence outside here. The road itself wasn't in the best shape either. The asphalt was cracked like an eggshell, with ruts and potholes scattered here and there. It's a good thing the bus wasn't there yet. The stop was so overgrown, but drivers usually just passed by it. You have to look out from them and wave your arms, trying to catch their attention. I pulled the phone out of my pocket. There was plenty of time. Zoya making me wake up earlier was for nothing after all. By the way, did Zoya just leave me? Where did the girl go? Bestie, I'm here with you. I looked around to find Zoya patiently waiting for a bus. Straight posture, fingers intertwined, a faint half smile. She looked just like a princess waiting for her Prince Charming. I couldn't help but laugh. Zoya instantly gave me a curious look. We don't know Zoya's relationship with her brother yet. Does she feel like a bit stiff, maybe nervous? What is it? I could look at you for... This is supposed to be an Otome game, but our girl is just complimenting and glazing Zoya like crazy. Are you sure there's not going to be them two kissing? Because my god, the way she talks about Zoya is wild. We're just besties, I promise. Zoya blushed. Her eyes darted back and forth. Oh, Good thing I chose to go with Zoya. If I'd gone to school, who knows what would happen. What if I couldn't give the bouquet to Sensei? Or I dropped the flowers on the way? Anything could have happened. But now, even if something does happen, I'm not alone. And Zoya's puzzled expression was so worth it. While my friend didn't know what to do with herself, another gust of wind tousled her braids, like satin ribbons. They went into the air, before gently floating back down. I wondered what color Noble's hair is, and the ability. How did he acquire it? So then they aren't born with their abilities. Okay. As I stood there idly, my thoughts began to pile up like a snowball. There was so much I wanted to ask, but I was too afraid to scare Zoya away. I can at least ask one question. I bet Yuri route? I'm not sure. I think they said there's how many routes? 6 routes plus 1 additional? How many love interests? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh snap! She might actually be a route then. Okay, with all the different characters. So Zoya might actually have a route. Ooh, I kind of like that though. I might go for her. Her smile stiffened, as if set in stone. What? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked. I was just wondering, how soon did you find out everything? No need to apologize. You can always ask if you're curious about something. We found about them very quickly. Perhaps too quickly, damn girl! There is an engine sound in the distance. It looks like our bus is finally coming. Right, we gotta take the bus that takes us to the dock where the ferry is, and the brother gets off on the ferry. Feeling braver, I decide to ask one more question. Did he tell you himself, or did someone tell you? He rarely shares anything himself, so I was told by others. Yep. First check mark on the things the twins haven't. Wait, they're twins? I wanted to return to the first question, as Zoya still hadn't answered, but the bus was already approaching. Oh, they're twins? That kind of changes things, though. Clouds of exhaust smoke billowed up, like from some powerful steamboat. I was afraid that they simply wouldn't notice us. Zoya and I waved our arms. For a moment, I even forget that I was holding a bouquet, but I managed to catch it just in time and straighten the tangled ribbon. You didn't put it down? So she still has the bouquet she wants to give to Sensei with her. I hope it doesn't get damaged at least. Eventually, the bus stopped. Port was written on a plate next to the windshield. It was the only sign on the island's local language that I had learned to read. And that was only because there was an English translation underneath it. Ooh. The doors flew open with a loud noise. We carefully entered, as though stepping into the lair of a beast. Despite our initial reservations, there is nothing remarkable about the bus, except for the beautiful amulets hanging above the driver's head, so we quickly settled down. I wiped my fogged-up glasses and pressed my face up against the window, full of curiosity. Questions about Noble can wait. Now, it's time to enjoy the view, because this is her first time leaving like the inner walls of the city. Ooh, map, thank you! And it's actually like a moon. Interesting. Libertas Island lies far out at sea. Some say it looks like a giant whale, flicking its long tail. Others argue the island closely resembles a crescent moon. Okay. So I'm assuming that's either the school or the research center and marked here. And that's like where most of the people live. And if we're going down this way, that's the port, right? And some even see it as an Ouroboros. They say that if you include the abandoned lighthouse, it links the two halves of the island, closing the loop and explaining where all the misfortunes come from plague-stricken village to burnt temples. I think one of our teachers once told us about the last comparison was made up by tourists inspired by a local legend. Speaking of tourists, thanks to the island's peculiar shape and its many folk stories, Libertas has attracted quite a bit of attention. Oh, okay. I assumed only people authorized to be on this island would come here, since all the students have anomalies or powers. But they do allow tourism here, so it's not as closed off as I assumed. But that didn't mean it was easy to get there. Due to many towns and temples, forests and swamps, shaky ground and harsh climate, an airport was never built. The railway was also bypassed the island, unlike the neighboring peninsulas. That's why everyone arrived by ferry, although even that wasn't common. Is it by plane? They don't have an airport, but they can have like a private jet or a helicopter at least, right? At times, a thick fog would curl around the island. It puzzled the ship captains, who started calling Libertas another Bermuda Triangle. So there were few routes here, and the islanders lived off the fishery and agriculture. Only a few skilled guides dared to give tours, many of which often ended in disaster. Our research town was only built 5 years ago. It was created to study anomalies, people with extraordinary abilities. Ooh, okay. So it hasn't been here long compared to like the townspeople of the island. Alright, so then the whole research part was built here specifically for the anomalies. It's not like they took over the town or the whole island. So what I'm thinking is that there's part of the island that has all the anomalies and students, and that's the fenced off part. And there's a separate section that probably has all of the locals here who were born on this island. I heard there used to be an abandoned village in its place, but the residents had died many years ago due to some incurable illness. Don't let that come back, please. There were many such towns and villages on Libertas, the very thought of which always gave me goosebumps. On the way, I had a good look at the plowed fields, the seashore, and the fishermen's boats. I even noticed a couple of guys from our research town, gorging on the apples hanging from the trees. The idea of skipping school one of these days seems more and more tempting. It was even colder on the pier. The wind seemed to take offense at us leaving the town, trying its hardest to punish us with every gust. I shivered. It took great effort to refrain from wrapping my arms around myself. If Zoya sees that I'm cold one more time, she'll definitely start looking for ways to warm me up, and we'll miss everything. The ferry sailed majestically towards the shore. Everyone's attention turned to the boat, which was humming and puffing out plumes of smoke like an old man smoking a pipe. It finally docked. People slowly began to come out. Okay, so what is the brother gonna be? I immediately started scanning the crowd for dark hair, a cap, and a plaid shirt. That's how Zoya had described her brother. Noble? Is he here? Of course, Zoya found him first. After all, there's something magical about the bond between twins. I followed her gaze. Noble was standing by one of the ferry's railings. Oh, he's cute! Stop it! Don't do that to me! Don't give me that cute ass. Heterochromia? Wait a minute! Zoya doesn't have heterochromia that I remember, but they gave him. That smile is actually so cute though! And I kind of like his eyebrows are a bit thick and bushy. Hi, buddy! Maybe I'll romance you first. And then Zoya could be my sister-in-law if we ever get married. Hi! Ooh, I really like the shading on the jacket. The puffer part is so nice. Hey, buddy! His smile was dazzling. You bet it is! He was clearly greeting only Zoya. A smile like that is reserved for only our nearest and dearest. Alright, so seeing this, I'm going to assume for now, he has a pretty great relationship with Zoya. I don't see any red flags. There's no disdain or hate or just neutral expression on his face. He generally looks happy to see his twin. But for a moment, it felt like Noble was greeting me too. In the heat of the moment, I waved at him. Noble waved back and moved closer to the railing. He became any closer, even another step. Oh, don't say— why are you saying that? He would fall into the sea. No, he's gonna fall. Splash, no, do not, game, do not. The crowd at the gangway just wouldn't end. Jeez, just let Noble get away from the damn railing already. Why is Zoya so calm? Can't she see? The Noble could easily fall into the water. I wanted to turn towards her, but I was frozen in place. Weird. Noble was leaning lower and lower. I can't bear to watch. The smell of fish and the sea wafted up to my nose. People were bustling around. Seagulls were screeching. I couldn't hear any screams. He didn't fall. Is he all right? G? Is everything okay? That's a weird moment. Something that only she just honed in on for some reason. Like, Zoya was looking at her brother too, and the brother didn't look too panicked like he was about to fall. So I'm wondering why she reacted like that. Zoya looked at me with concern. I smiled and glanced at the ferry. Noble was gone. Could he have really fallen? But then why would Zoya be so calm? Oh my god, what's wrong with me? Surely he couldn't have... hello? Hello? A joyful and teasing voice broke my train of thought. I looked up. Thank God he's okay. He's a ghost? It doesn't look like he's a ghost. I think he's human, but it's just her reaction to him against the railing was so weird and just out there. I feel like it's going to be important. Maybe it's something to do with her power. She was just too paranoid for that scene to my liking. I don't know why though. We gotta see if she reacts that way to something else and everyone else around her just acts normal, like nothing bad's gonna happen. How could I even think of something so absurd? Nice to meet you, Noble. Likewise, Princess. Don't start with the nicknames, don't do that to me. His warm, genuine smile made it feel as though the world had suddenly become much brighter. The cold was gone, replaced by the warmth of the sun. It gave me butterflies in my stomach. Wait, Princess? Ain't no way, he's a flirt, he's a tease! I only come to my senses, but Noble pressed his coat lips to the back of my hand. And look at that damn smug expression on his face. Oh my god. So different compared to the nice bright smile he showed us earlier in that damn CG. That freaking smirk. There was a mischievous look in his eyes. It was so intense. Yeah, Zoya's like, bro, back the hell up. I immediately pulled my hand away and glanced at Zoya. She shook her head. I think I asked you to be more restrained. Is that why she was worried about him meeting her? It wasn't that he was a bad person, he's just a bit of a tease, a flirt. Why? I'm the very picture of restraint. Noble shot me a cheeky wink. My confusion didn't seem to bother him at all. It's nice to see you, sister. He spoke the last word with a hint of mockery. Zoya sighed, but there is nothing but true joy in her eyes. I'm happy to see you too. They didn't hug or shake hands, yet looked at each other with a certain familial warmth. I barely had time to soak in their long-awaited reunion before Noble's attention swung back to me. Can we not? Whoa, you even brought me flowers? No, wait, they're for Sensei! Thank you. Girl, keep those flowers to yourself. He was already reaching for the bouquet before I could hide it behind my back. Sorry, but these are not for you. Not the damn look, bro. Stop wobbling your bottom lip. Have some shame. What a shame. Seems they're for another lucky guy, huh? And where's my welcome gift, then? Zoya gave him a stern glance. Not that face. It's the cutest face, too. I hate him so much, but I also love him. Nope. Well, how about this? Oh my... Bro is just moving at his own pace. Noble leans towards me, offering his cheek. He even closed his eyes in anticipation. Time seemed to slow down, so it wouldn't hurt just a light slap on his face. I recoiled in horror. I'm glad he didn't see that expression. My glasses slid down my nose, and I made a great effort to push them back into place. And then... Ouch! What was that for? Did she slap him? Please tell me she slapped him. I stared at Zoya. She looked calm and composed, but her eyes were filled with righteous anger. He's like... Bro, he's trying to be smooth. It's kind of funny though. How he doesn't even let anything just stop him. He keeps on going. Shall we leave you here? You'll find your way back, won't you? Noble raises his hands in surrender. Okay. I'm sorry for being persistent, princess. He's gonna continue calling her princess, isn't he? This unusual nickname again. It sounds so strange. The name is G. I know, but princess suits you better. Stop flirting, bro. Get out of my face. Zoya rolled her eyes, and I couldn't help but giggle. It was the first time I'd seen her so annoyed. She reminded me of a tiny, angry hedgehog. Noble chuckled as well. Apparently, our reactions were a great source of amusement for him. And then, my gaze landed on a large clock, hanging from one of the dock pillars. Bro, that smile. I love his little smirk so much, honestly. I need more of them. The time. Is it class? Are we missing school? I quickly pulled out my slider phone from my pocket. My fears were confirmed. We're going to be late, and we still need to swing by the library. We definitely won't make it for the first lesson, but we must hurry for the second one. Is that the one Sensei's in? Off we go? Whoa, he quickly figured out things. Observant guy. Yes, as soon as possible. We were silent for most of the walk back to the bus stop. It wasn't far, but we had to climb a steep hill. Luckily, Noble had only brought a backpack with him. How did he manage to fit all of his clothes in there? So there was no troubles on the way. When we got to the bus stop, we were soaking wet. Noble took off his cap and started fitting himself with it. Jesus! We were walking that much that we're sweating like crazy. He did the wink, he's my type. Honestly, he's kind of my type too. I do like the flirty type of characters who are a bit persistent. They can be fun. Well, you've got some hills here. Yep, sorta. Woo. Zoya stayed silent, preferring to catch her breath rather than waste it on small talk. I should have followed her example, but the words slip out. Noble had me hooked. Me too, girl. And he clearly had no intention of letting me go. Princess, can I ask you something? Every time he does that damn smirk, bro, I want to wipe it off his face, but also smush his cheeks. Realizing I never out-stubborned someone so stubborn, I let out a heavy sigh, just like Zoya. It depends. What is your ability? Yes, please, tell me. Just straight to the point like that. He is straightforward for sure. Noble. Sooner or later, I'll figure it out anyway. During a medical checkup, or just by seeing it myself. What's there to hide? Besides, I've heard so much about how clever and beautiful G is. Obviously, I'd like to get to know her better. Ooh, has Zoya just been complimenting and talking about G like crazy to her brother? Noble said my name on purpose. Definitely. Trying to butter me up. I glanced at Zoya. She shook her head. Noble immediately stepped in front of her and came closer. His multicolored, green and brown eyes seemed to cast a spell on me, begging me to obey. He won't let me go that easily. I run fast. Is that it? Just speed? I shrugged, feeling awkward. My answer came out even more unimpressive than I imagined. I've met so many anomalies with cool abilities, acute hearing, super strength. Some even can alter their voice, like, oh, we know Zoya's though! She can alter her voice, but I feel like that can be used for something nefarious in the future. Also, just notice, his starstruck eyes are the cutest thing! Stop it! Oh my god, bro. He has me hooked too. My greatest feat is sprinting as quick as a flash when needed be. The rest of the time, even running is a struggle. Endurance is my weakness. Well, at least maybe that would disappoint Noble enough for him not to pay me so much attention. Although that hope quickly faded. He was still looking at me like I was a treasure chest. How fast can you go? Almost at the speed of light. Wait, that sounds cool though. But I've only tried that in testing. In ordinary life, going as quick as a car is enough. Hold on, but super speed's kind of like nice though. If you want to get to places quickly, you can. You don't even have to go super fast. How do you tell what to avoid crashing into? Intuition? Do your shoes and clothes wear out quickly? It depends on the shoe speed. Usually it's just sneakers that need replacing. What are the consequences? Shortness of breath? Rapid pulse? What do they forecast in case of wear and tear? Whoa, whoa, whoa. When did this turn into an interrogation? Zoya, help, please? As if hearing my pleas, my friend came forward. You told me you're dying to sleep. Then why don't you lie down and get some sleep? Did she just casually tell him, go sit there and die? That was before I met Princess. Now I'm wide awake. What is your ability? Is this something cool? I blurted out with to gain control over the conversation. It was about time I did. Noble narrowed his eyes slightly. Oh, he's proud of it, isn't he? And he didn't tell me. Okay. Okay, keep your secrets for now. The bus is coming. I was about to protest that he was just dodging my question, but the bus appeared on the horizon before I could. So either he doesn't think it's that impressive and he's trying to avoid the topic, or he knows it's impressive and he just wants us to stew in curiosity and know about it later. That's not fair, but fine. I'll get every one of Noble's secrets out. It seems like island life is getting more interesting. Gee, are you okay? Of course. When the bus pulled up, Zoya and I stepped aside to let Noble go first. He bounded up the steps and then froze? What is it? I think I'm stuck. Is his backpack too big for the damn door? There's no shot. I think his backpack is stuck in the door. Look at this damn door. Oh my god, and the crow. Have you guys watched like older animes when a character does something stupid and it just pans up to the sky and you see a crow just going by going aho, aho, calling the person stupid? That's what this feels like. Oh my god. This poor helpless guy. Step back, take off your backpack, and just maneuver it in a different direction. Don't tell me he's gonna try and walk forward. This life won't let me die. So possessive. Oh my god, he's so stupid. I love him. Noble was indeed stuck, thanks to his overstuffed backpack, which was completely wedged between the bus doors. At first, I expected Noble to show off his ability. Maybe shape-shifting, or walking through walls, but no. He just bent his knees, flailed his arms, and giggled. Is he enjoying himself? So stupid! Oh my god! He's such a silly creature. Look, I'm flying. I glanced over at the baffled driver and a couple of passengers, their eyes wide and staring at Noble. I couldn't help but burst out laughing. Bruh, Zoya's like, damn, I share blood with him? That's my twin out of all people it could have been? I wish I could see his face. He was stuck with his back facing us. Are you even planning to get out of there? Haven't decided yet. Are we running late? Yeah, bro, we're late for class. While Noble and Zoya were talking, the driver slammed the door and came over. Oh, he was furious. I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. That's all him. Whatever he was saying, we couldn't understand at all. Maybe it was for the best. Before the driver went from words to actions, we had to do something. Noble, take the backpack off. We'll push it. Noble huffed irritably. It was easy for him. He wasn't the one staring down the driver's flaring nostrils and huge fist. Zoya turned around, saw the situation we were in, and, with a straight face, tugged on one of the backpack zippers. What the hell did he pack in there? All of his clothes? Hey, that's not fair! Don't tell me you're going for that pocket. What's in the pocket? Zoya said nothing, calmly slipping her hand into the front of the backpack. What did you bring? I wonder, what could be so secret that even Noble got upset? Before I could get any closer, he freed himself from the straps, darted down, and grabbed the zipper. If that was possible, he would have to dart underneath the backpack, suspended in the air, and that's a funny thing to imagine. However, Zoya didn't remove her hand, leaving the zipper half open. Okay. The expressions of this game are the best thing. I was wrong. Bro looks so done with life too, like god damn it. Noble grinned awkwardly, like a child who had done wrong, fluttering his eyelashes in a plea for forgiveness. Zoya gave him a long look and went on unzipping the backpack. Whoa! Hey! Wow, looks like Noble really was trying to stake his claim. During gym class, me and Zoya were always neck and neck. We could barely manage push-ups. We'd be out of breath after a couple of laps around the stadium and dying after a 1-minute plank. I couldn't even imagine her being so strong. Well, maybe it's just Noble being weak? The driver, unlike me, wasn't impressed in the slightest. His face turned an angry crimson as he began moving towards the twins, clenching his fist. Alright, let's try and wrap this up, maybe before the bus driver, attacks us. Guys? One word from me was enough to distract Zoya. Noble, not expecting her to loosen her grip, yanked the zipper violently, sending him so flying. That's why his little bottle just took off in the bottom. With nothing to grab onto, and being already distracted by the driver, his flight resulted into an unexpected meeting with the local asphalt. Me and Zoya froze. Even the driver stopped in his tracks, speaking now in a calmer manner. Oh yeah, he doesn't even care! Ro is just literally just moving on in life without a care in the world. Soft landing. Oh, I love these, the sprites are so funny. I just love the expressions and some of the way they move. I cannot wait to see what else they do with them. He chuckled and got to his feet, brushing off his pants. Noble got up, and I nervously fiddled with the ends of my glasses. His palms were bleeding and covered with dust. Close the pocket, will you? Remarkable. Despite falling a meter and badly scraping his hands, leaving them covered in blood, he didn't seem to be in any pain. Another similarity with Zoya. I remember how she once had trapped her whole hand in a door. She looked at her injured hand with little concern, as if she'd just gotten a splinter. Then, with an unsettling calmness, she headed off to the nurse's office. While I was reminiscing over the past, Zoya actually yanked the zipper back. Then she and the driver shoved the backpack inside. The man exhaled, muttered something softer this time, and headed back to his seat. Alright, we finally got the backpack inside the bus at least. I kept glancing at Noble's scraped hands. What should we do? That could get infected. I think it should be fine for the bus ride back, right? Unlike me, Zoya remains calm. She meticulously examined the wound, like how she would if she wasn't satisfied with the color combination of an outfit. Antiseptic cream? And he carries it with him. Look at that. In the back pocket. Do you have any cotton pads or wipes? In the front pocket. Great. Come on, G. Before this weirdo does something else. He's fine. He's my weirdo, though. I love him. He's taken off the back before the bus comes on. He should have taken off the backpack, yeah, and then gone to the bus. But I guess he underestimated how much he packed inside it. We got on the bus. Zoya calmly dabbed at Noble's palms with a cotton pad. I watched her, spellbound. Once, when I hurt my knee, she treated my scrape in the same calm way. Even though Zoya appeared so delicate and soft, she was incredibly calm and composed, handy during an emergency. Noble thanked her and immediately fell asleep. Bro, he's just going on with life. He's just floating in the breeze. For a moment, I felt disappointed. I thought he would keep us entertained with stories the whole way. I would have seized the opportunity to find out about his ability. Well, this is even better. Finally, I could relax and enjoy the ride. Are the flowers okay? We haven't mentioned those in a while. After wedging Noble's bulky backpack by his feet, so neither of them would fall, we climbed onto the back seats. As per usual, Zoya pulled out her MP3 player and gave me one of her earphones. A few moments later, a gentle, soothing melody floated in my ears. I sank into the enchanting sounds of the flute and guitar. The accordion and the quiet beat of the drum carried my thoughts far away. But the heart of the song were the vocals. A woman's timbre enveloped the entire melody, filling it with depth. Like a siren luring the sailors in, it drew me in, again and again. And then, as if echoing it, another voice joined in. At first, it sounded out of place, an alien, as if it were trying to break the idyllic moment. But then, as Zoya hummed along, her voice seemed to blend with the woman's voice, seamlessly becoming one. It's so cool to have such a simple ability. The power to copy others' voices. That's actually super duper broken, right? Like, he can just pretend to be someone else on the phone, like send messages like that, and no one would really know unless they knew she had those abilities. Damn, what would I do with that? I feel like, though, a lot of people would use something like that, maybe for voice acting, like they like a voice actor's voice and then use it for themselves. All I can do is dash fast over short distances. But Zoya's singing, it floats so effortlessly that it completely captivated me. Her throat does hurt sometimes if she sings for too long. But that's a small price to pay for such a gift. Besides, the pain quickly subsides. Zoya is such an amazing person. I'm so glad I managed to talk to her, share my lunch with her, and suggest partying up together for our first lab project. Even though my heart belongs to Sensei, without Zoya, my life would be painted in completely different colors. What is it? She knows me staring at her. Awkward. I shook my head and closed my eyes, resting my head against her shoulder. A faint scent of chrysanthemum still lingered in the air. Thank you. For what? It's me who should be thanking you. Thank you, G. Thank you so much. Then do me a favor and sleep. We'll miss the stop. I opened my eyes wide. We won't. I'll keep watch. Zoya gave me a doubtful look. Then, as if giving in, she leaned her head towards the window, ready to doze off. Here, you can rest your head on my shoulder. I shrugged my shoulder in invitation. She froze. Her eyes seemed to ask, really, is it okay? We got a CG with Zoya! It is so cute! Oh my god. Look at her. Oh, she's just enjoying her sleep, her needed rest, and she has a little blush on her cheeks. Don't do this to me. I need the way I want Zoya too. Can I get both twins though? Is that selfish or greedy? Me wanting both twins, wanting Zoya and Noble together? Like us, please, can I have both? Can there be a route me and both of them together? Zoya smiled with gratitude and carefully nestled against my shoulder. Her eyes fluttered shut. Sweet dreams, Zoya. No nightmares. None, she murmured, as sleep finally claimed her. Alright, let me just take a sip of my tea real quick. I should have added more sugar to it. What floor? Second, classroom 223. Turn right. Right! Noble, that's left, damn it. Bro. You should have said it was your right. And who asked you to run backwards? What do you mean he's running backwards? My heart was thumping in my chest because of all of this running. We didn't miss our stop. We had lost plenty of time. Waking Noble up was like trying to pull a drowning man out of a swamp. Zoya insisted on bringing the chrysanthemums to the library. Noble and I sprinted down the hallway. Guess we kept skidding around the corners thanks to their gigantic backpack. I'm still surprised the security guard even let him in with that thing. Maybe Noble really is charming. Or maybe it was just us sprinting like we were running from an avalanche. Here it is. Yep, straight ahead. Slow down. That was easier said than done. The inertia flung Noble straight into the wall, bringing him to an abrupt stop. My phone buzzed. Mission completed. Zoya's coming back. Great. I'm sorry, Operation Seduce Sensei begins. Are you actually helping? I blushed. How do you... Now I'm sure. Thanks for your honesty, princess. Let's go to class. As we were about to enter, a tall girl blocked our way. Who are you, ma'am? Sleek hair pulled back into a high ponytail. Her suit was immaculate, strict gaze. She looked like a younger version of a meticulous teacher. Of all the classmates we could have run into, why did it have to be the former vice class rep? The girl scanned us from head to toe, before sighing in disapproval. Skipping classes on the very first day, and being late too. Your heads are all over the place, Jiggins. And you are... Did she just call G Jiggins? I'm new here. As you can see, Lady Jiggins had a legit excuse for being absent. The former vice rep huffs. I don't recall her being related to you. And why would she greet you anyway? Isn't that the guide's job? I knew she would ask. Even I asked Zoya the same question. Noble tightened his grip on his backpack straps. I wish he would just drop the hefty bag on her head. However, Noble just smiled. It is, but it's always nice when you're welcomed by someone close, don't you think? The former vice rep looked at me and chuckled. Very close, I see. Totally. He He could keep this bickering going on forever. She must have realized there was no winning against Noble, so she rolled her eyes. Go in then. It's fine. We're not gonna, like, get in trouble. Once the girl was out of sight, I shot Noble an accusatory look. Did I need to argue with her, princess? But then, we probably wouldn't have made it to class, right? True? Noble gave me a warm smile, and I snapped back out of it. You're right. I know. Bro, so damn arrogant, but I still like it. Noble giggled, opening the door. Ladies first. As we walked inside, I finally realized how I felt about this mischievous boy. Noble was like a refreshing breeze, the kind which can lift the tension in a room and make everyone feel lighter. I shook my head and played along with Noble, confidently striding past him. Judging by his approving chuckle, he liked that. I like the little in-betweens they do for certain scenes. It kind of reminds me when the animes had those like in-betweens in the middle of an episode before continuing. Time to find our seats. Since the lab work was already in full swing, Noble and Zoya took a seat at the back desk, while I slipped into the one in front of them. Sensei allowed us to conduct experiments in groups of 2 to 4, so we decided to work through the tasks together. While the teacher was away, we managed to write down the lab template into our notebooks, equipment, experiments, formulas, and other funny stuff. Well, by the time I finished, Zoya and Noble were still struggling with the formulas. Ooh, are they not good with classwork? I can kind of see Noble, but Zoya? With nothing else to occupy my time with, I started reading the textbook to understand how to trigger different chemical reactions. But I found it hard to concentrate. Distracted, I noticed myself and some other students glancing over at the gigantic backpack we had propped against the far wall. It's still there. That's hilarious. Is he just gonna carry it with him the whole class until he gets to his dorm? It stuck out like a sore thumb among the shelves and potted flowers. Much like Noble himself, he still hadn't taken off his cap, despite the vice rep's demands. I wanted to watch a bit longer, as she slowly lost her patience, trying to reason with him. But then the door opened. Sensei? My heart skipped a beat. Oh, why did they make him so gorgeous though? Is that a beauty mark? They gave Sensei a beauty mark. Oh, and they got the shoujo sparkles all around this man. Stop it. Don't do that to me. I am going to not make it. Oh, he's gorgeous. Oh my god. The voices of my classmates abruptly fell silent, as if a conductor had suddenly raised his hands and ordered the choir of voices in the classroom to stop. Everyone simultaneously turned to look at the slender, tall man entering the classroom. No, not entering, gliding, with the poise of a dancer. Sensei thoroughly scanned the room, as if he wanted to etch each of us into his memory, and those deep, dark eyes lingering in ancient wisdom. Fine, aristocratic features, a gentle smile full of kindness and warmth, immaculate clothing. Everything about him was flawless. God damn, she's got it bad. That's infatuation if I don't see one. It was as if the gods had sculpted Sensei themselves. As if listening to the heavens, we never call him by his real name. It had been this way for a long time. The first students who discovered he'd come from Japan addressed him only as Sensei. Eventually, the nickname grew so naturally, even the other teachers started using it. Oh, I was wondering about that. Okay. Sensei had been late to class only twice. The first time was when a girl had a nosebleed upon seeing him. Girl, same. And no, it wasn't me. And he took her to the nurse's office. The second was when the principal summoned Sensei. What's the reason this time? Oh, Sensei's too gorgeous. Don't do that to me. His waist? Hello? Hey! Hi, Sensei. And they gave him, like, the one little bottom eyelash. My god. I've been so addicted to fictional men with that little bottom eyelash. Hey, hi, Sensei, hi. He's so hot, right? Just look at this man. And are these chrysanthemums on his tie, perhaps? Maybe? Just a little? Sorry for being late. As soon as he spoke, my mind went completely blank. His voice was like a majestic ocean, a deep thunder, a soft velvet. It was enveloping, captivating, enchanting, and consuming. How I longed to melt into those sweet dreams and never rise again. Noble, I see you made it here safely. Hello, Sensei. Noble's voice pierced through the soft haze. I blinked hard, trying to drag myself from my foggy dreams back into reality. So, you decided to come straight to class. That's commendable. Sensei was still breathtakingly handsome, but now I needed to concentrate on the lesson. To fully come to my senses, I cleaned my glasses and put them back on. Sensei called Noble to the board and introduced himself to the class. Well, I could spend the whole lesson talking about myself, but my time is valuable. I'm not sure the school could afford it, bro. A ripple of laughter ran through the classroom. Even Sensei smiled. I'll be frank. My name is Noble. My strongest trait is sleeping with my eyes open. As for my weaknesses, there are too many to count, so best not to worry about them. I hope to find fellow horror fans to watch movies together and go to abandoned temples. I heard there are a lot of them on the island. And if someone's willing to share their homework for chips or soda, we'll definitely get along. Oh yeah, that definitely sounds like something Noble will say. And yes, does anyone have a phone charger? I'll owe you one. Thank you, Noble. The class clapped politely. Some were genuinely smiling, whether out of senseless approval, because they really enjoyed Noble's performance. My ears burned with embarrassment. How could he say all of that? He's that confident in himself. Noble, it seems, didn't care. With a roguish smile, he gave a theatrical bow and made his way back to his seat. The boy beside him handed over a phone charger. Gee, Zoya, I'm glad you made it in time for my lesson. Sensei, I would never miss it for the world. I instantly forget about Noble. I wanted to exclaim, we come to your class no matter what, Sensei, or we would never skip it. But I just smiled and fixed my glasses, though they hadn't slipped this entire time. Our lab task is quite simple, but you should be careful not to get confused. Since you have only one lesson, it'll be good enough to conduct an Why is it called Golden Shower? I'm sorry? I'm sorry? A soft chuckle could be heard from behind. That's not on purpose, right? They wrote Golden Shower on purpose. Patience. I need to be patient. Sensei explained how to work with the chemicals, then took his seat and started filling something out in the gradebook. We went to get flasks. Judging by the look on Noble's face, I knew the fun was only just starting. I was planning to keep an eye on him, so that he wouldn't blow things up or set the class on fire. But when he reached the chemicals, the thought completely slipped my mind. So, what do we need? Yep, lead nitrate, potassium iodide, and acetic acid. There aren't that many elements in the reaction to mess it up. And the experiment should look beautiful. I've already seen it in the pictures. We can definitely handle this. Noble, put the iodine back, please. Huh? Don't we need it? We need iodine. Potassium iodine. I've already got it. What about the lead? I already have lead nitrate. And before you ask, I've got the acetic acid already. What do I carry then? Let's not give you any chemicals. Could you grab the flask without dropping and breaking it, perhaps? Maybe? Noble looks like a pouty child who had begged to help out in the garden, only to be handed a bucket and spade and told to go play in the sandbox. I giggled and pointed Noble to the flask. You get the most important mission. You won't break them, right? Can't promise anything. They're all done with this man. I shouldn't have asked. Fortunately, we made it back safely. I immediately poured the potassium iodide into the flask and add the lead nitrate into the beaker. I need to keep in mind that it's quite toxic, so I've got to be careful with it. Zoya and Noble watched me obediently. So, now we add acetic acid to the lead, correct? I nodded. Noble, go boil the water. Can you handle that? I love his pout. Please, 250 milliliters, right? Wow, I thought he hadn't listened to Sensei after hearing the words golden shower. Maybe he called potassium iodide iodine for fun. Give him a reason to joke, and he'll drive the whole world crazy. A good memory. Noble let out a smug chuckle and eagerly lit the alcohol burner. Then pour 175 milliliters into the beaker, the rest in the flask. As you command, princess. It was my turn to smile. Once the water had boiled, we thoroughly stirred the solutions. Only the final step remained, adding lead nitrite to the potassium iodide. In an instant, the water had turned yellow. As if enchanted, golden particles flowed up from the bottom. It's like we were stirring golden sand or shaking a crystal ball from which tiny snowflakes were falling. It was mesmerizing. A golden shower, indeed. I can't believe this. Is that actually what it's called? No, never mind. Nope. I was gonna type in golden shower on my phone, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm just going to have faith that this is an actual experiment name. Noble chuckled, clearing the leftover lead nitrate from the burner. Just as I thought, he had poured a lot more boiled water than needed, so we ended up with too much solution. How does he know how to mess everything up? What is it, princess? I snapped. What's so funny? You really can't tell. Gee, just ignore him. Okay. I'm sorry for not being serious. But you thought of the same things I did, haven't you? Is it the golden shower thing? What were you thinking about? Noble smiled cuttingly. Should I say it? How loud? Judging by his look, he meant it. No arguing with him is pointless. Okay, never mind. Don't tell me he's gonna tell it, isn't he? Do you know that, G? It all happened in a flash. I abruptly reached out for Noble. The burner, thankfully, had already gone out, so I didn't burn my hand. However, Noble jolted suddenly, spilling the last of the nitrate across the table. Zoya and Noble managed to jump back, but it wasn't fast enough. Drops splattered onto my hand. Oh, we got burned? G? My heart thrashed into my chest. I stared in terror as my skin began to hiss. Suddenly, an arm wrapped softly around my shoulders. Its warmth and tenderness nearly brought me to tears. Sensei, Zoya, or Noble? Which one? Sensei? It was Sensei. You need to rinse your hand. Come on. Zoya, Noble, put on gloves and clean the table. As if under a spell, I followed Sensei to the sink. I let him take my hand and put it under the running water. His skin was even more delicate than I imagined. It's so nice. I clung to that thought and slowly came to my senses. If it weren't for Sensei's lessons, nothing like this would have ever happened. I let my nerves get the better of me, and I paid the price for it. I mean, it's fine. Every once in a while it happens. Just know next time with chemicals, don't let Noble kind of get you worked up. Or at least don't work with him next time. So what if Noble likes to joke around? Why react like that? I dragged him and Zoya into this as well. They could have been hurt too. Yes, I need to grow up. How else could I ever become anything like Sensei? Ooh. Sorry, Nova into Sensei more, right? This line is a bit interesting, and I wonder if that has to do with why G is in love with Sensei, or at least have an infatuation with him. Like, she's still young. She's not even 18 yet, if I remember correctly. I think she's like in her last year of high school. So she might be 18, like just turned 18, but she's still like a child. She's still very young compared to Sensei, who has many years of experience in life. So it feels like she probably definitely is attracted to Sensei's appearance and his personality and stuff like that, because she did describe his appearance wonderfully. Like, girl has a lot of love for this man. But I feel like maybe it's also how Sensei carries himself as an adult, someone reliable, someone that you can just go to no matter what, that she also likes. That's what she wants to become. So I'm wondering, will her feelings eventually just go away as time goes by? Or is her infatuation not really love, since she is just a child at this point? Adults are reserved. They consider their decisions carefully and would pay little attention to someone's empty talk. Well, not all adults, but I understand you. And me, what did I... My eyes stung with tears. I'm sorry, Sensei. It's alright, G. Everything's fine. What matters is that you're okay. But maybe you just stopped by the nurse's office, just in case. No. Just a tiny bit splashed on me, and it doesn't hurt anymore. That was the plain truth. To Sensei, I simply couldn't lie. I could downplay the scale of it, maybe. Zoya and Noble came to the sink to rinse out the rags. Gee, are you okay? It's alright, don't worry. Zoya sighed with relief and looked at Sensei gratefully. Noble, for the first time, looked serious, gloomy even, as if he just lived through a catastrophe. Sorry. Forget it. It was my fault. Here is a long-awaited truce. Now, try another experiment, but this time without the quarreling. Deal? Sensei seemed to have cast a spell upon us, because this time, all three of us answered in unison. Deal. The rest of the lesson passed without trouble. We wrapped up the work quickly. By the time class ended, we had drifted into our own distractions. Noble was playing Snake, while Zoya folded paper into a flower. I double-checked the lab work before glancing over to admire Sensei again. He kept on reading something in our gradebook. His pen fluttered gracefully across the pages, while his keen eyes paused here and there, as though detecting something noteworthy again. I noticed Sensei always checked the gradebook several times, writing down the homework in a separate column, so students could always double-check and never forget. He was also analyzing our grades in other subjects, keeping track of our performance, ready to help us if needed. We were incredibly lucky to have Sensei as our homeroom teacher. Insanely lucky. I sighed. Is that the bell? Our class is done for the day? Why did the lesson have to end so fast? My classmates crowded around the sink to pour out their leftover solutions. Some are already hurrying to return their rinse flasks and beakers to the chemistry lab. Sensei got up from his chair and headed towards the chaos. He caught a beaker just in time for it slipped from the sink, then gave the struggling vice rep a hand to carry a couple of empty flasks. I smiled. After such obvious attempts to grab his attention, Sensei would only see her as a helpless little child. Soon, the crowd thinned and disappeared through the door. And a sudden sound from behind immediately caught my attention. Let me help. Zoya handed me over the burner and 2 flasks. Noble put his phone away and stretched like a cat waking from a long nap. Then I'll take these beauties. The boy lifted a big beaker and 2 measuring cups containing a dangerous liquid. Do we trust him with them? Just be careful, alright? Careful is my middle name. I shook my head. He never learns. We finally finished washing up and handed over all the equipment. Noble rushed to the back seat. He looked like a hamster that has finally found a way out of the cage. Zoya and I took our time. No point in hurrying when there are tons of boring lessons ahead. Besides, we still needed to hand in our notebooks with lab work. While Noble was struggling with his heavy backpack, which got stuck in the aisle again, Zoya and I took our notebooks and headed over to Sensei. The classroom was empty. Only a few students who were hurriedly finishing formulas, and others who had just started to wash their equipment. As we came closer, I caught my breath. A flutter of butterflies burst inside me, and my body felt light and airy like a cloud. Quietly, as if afraid to wake a sleeping baby, I put away my notebook and stepped aside for Zoya. That's it. Time to leave. Leave. Yet, one comforting thought lingered. I'd finally be able to give him the bouquet after school. I could barely force myself to look away from Sensei and turn around. Zoya, G, stay for a couple of minutes. I'd like to have a word with you. Did I do something wrong, Sensei? My chest tightened. Could it be that Sensei had read my thoughts? Had he somehow found out that Zoya and I went to the flower shop? No one knew his true ability. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Sensei has an ability. What's... it could be anything. Which was really frightening. Legs trembling, I turned back. Suddenly, I felt something warm squeeze my hand. Zoya. Thank you. Sensei flipped through a couple of pages in the gradebook, fixed the notebooks into a perfect stack, and finally looked at us. Since you missed the first lesson, I'll repeat it for you in person. In 2 weeks, elections for the class rep club will be held. G, if I remember correctly, at the end of last year, you expressed a desire to participate. Relief rushed through me, replaced by anticipation. Right, the elections. The class rep club was the student council. For each class, a rep and a vice rep were chosen. A few times a week, the elected students gathered for meetings to discuss academic performance, career guidance, and events organizations and medical checkups. Sounds boring, right? However, the class rep club has another, more popular name among the students. I don't think it's hard to guess. The Sensei Club. Oh, that's why she wants to join. More time with Sensei. The name speaks for itself. Some years ago, students wanted to be elected only because Sensei was in charge of the club. One can easily imagine the chaos which ensued because of such people. Since then, the voting system has been refined. Before the rep and the vice rep were chosen, only by the students and the homeroom teacher. Now the decision also involves other teachers and even the principal. As Sensei said, the elections begin 2 weeks after the start of class. This is my graduation year, so I wanted to use every opportunity to stay close to Sensei. Fortunately for me, the smart and resourceful class rep left the island for some reason at the end of last school year, which left only one rival in my class, the former vice rep. She won't give up her place easily. I'll have to put in a lot of effort into winning. Yes, I really want to participate. Thank you for reminding me, Sensei. Zoya, you requested extra English assignments. Here they are. Thank you very much. Wow, she really has decided to take her studies seriously. At the end of last year, when Zoya told me she wanted to enter a prestigious design university, I didn't believe her. She was never passionate about studying. She was more into paper crafts and sewing. But now, I couldn't help but admire the perseverance with which she pursued her dream. Humanities has always been harder for her. I shot Zoya a glance. When I told her I wanted to run for class rep, I couldn't bring myself to ask her for help. It was mainly because Zoya was already a part of the sewing club, and the class rep club members weren't allowed to be in 2 clubs at once. Fair enough, burnout, especially for Anomalies, is quite dangerous. So when I need to find someone to be able to be vice rep, even though they might not become one, Zoya decided to focus on her studies, so I decided I shouldn't ask her for help. How do I find a candidate? Noble, please? I'll think about it later. For now, I just need to keep my spirits up. Well, I won't keep you any longer. Have a good day. Sensei's smile didn't fade, even when a loud crash echoed from the back of the classroom. Is it Noble? I swear to God, it's Noble. Noble? Looks like your friend needs a little help. Sensei looked calmly at Noble, who was sprawled on the floor, crushed by the immense weight of his backpack. I almost burst out laughing. We'll definitely help him, Sensei. Zoya was already rushing to her brother. Her face was stern, as if she was a strict parent about to scold their naughty child for breaking an expensive vase. Alright, let me save. Menu. Alright. I'm actually going to end it here. I think we learned a lot about the island, the Anomalies, her crush on Sensei, which I feel like is more like an infatuation of her wanting some of his qualities as she grows into an adult, which I kind of do like though. We still don't know how Sensei's going to react to the flowers, so hopefully we can next time. I will definitely be continuing the demo next week. I just think it's the perfect part to just end it up here. At the moment, Noble, that is the best boy. Bro is hilarious. He just does whatever he wants. He lets the wind takes him where he wants to go. And his damn backpack. How much longer do you guys think he's gonna keep this backpack on? Because right now, he's stuck with it until he gets to his dorm room. So he's just gonna carry this huge ass thing and possibly get stuck into doors and fall over more and more again. But yeah, I really enjoyed the demo so far. As I said before, I have left links to the Twitter and the Steam page. If you are on the Steam page, don't forget to wishlist it, comment, rate, what have you, let the creator knows how much you enjoyed it. And also check out all the other entries to the Atome's Game Festival. I have left a link there. There are so many entries, I don't have all the time to check them out myself, so definitely do it yourself. And check out the Twitter tag Atome's Game Celebration. There will be so many different creators who are going over all the different creations here. So definitely have fun with that. I'm having fun right now. We're only 2 entries so far for the whole week that I have for this. Next stream will be Wednesday. We have another entry, Chronotopia. I'm very excited for that one. It has a black NC, which makes me super excited. I cannot wait to see the story and art for that one. So that's it for today's stream. Hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye bye!